What you got, Andrew? What you got? You got some soup? Yeah? You making soup? How about you, Nathaniel? I see your train track. Can you show me a train track?
Yeah. The only one available today is Thomas.
Okay.
Hi, guys.
A train goes chugging through the mission land. Chugging, chugging, mission train. It brings a teacher to the children there. Chugging, missionary train. That's a work train?
Yeah.
Maybe it's bringing supplies to help build a school for children. How about that? Yeah, do you have...
No, but that's bringing people to faraway places.
People to faraway places, okay.
But, cause see, this place is now bringing cargo and people on top.
Cargo and people, okay.
So,
Andrew, are you making some good food? Yeah, some good healthy food? All right. Yeah, strawberries, thank you. Oh, maybe those are tomatoes. So we have a story we're going to start today about George Muller, Faith to Feed 10,000, written by Renee Taft Mallock, and the pictures are by Brian Pollard. George Muller was a minister in 1833. One day he strolled the streets of England feeling fancy-free. He jumped over the puddles from the rain the night before. He whistled as he walked and wondered what the future bore. A carriage passed by, and water splashed his face, which made it gritty. George did not care, for soon he knew he'd leave this crowded city. Though George had come from Prussia, it's called Germany today, he'd tired of tea and visiting and did not want to stay. He'd lived for months in Bristol among squalor and disease and thought it would be challenging to serve God overseas. And recently he'd got the money that he'd been waiting for, to serve God as a missionary on another shore. He pushed past Bristol's poorest part along the cobbled street. He hardly saw the beggars who were wanting food to eat. But then a little girl approached, dressed in a gunny sock. She carried a small toddler who was riding piggyback. Her dirt-streaked face looked up at him as she so shyly said, "Can you please spare a shilling, sir? My ma and pa are dead." George crouched beside the little girl, who looked no more than 5 years old. Her brother had a runny nose and shivered from the cold. Her name was Emily, and then with great delight she spelled her name for George and got a shilling for the night. George placed it in her unwashed hand. She straightened, feeling proud, and hitched her brother higher up while heading toward the crowd. George worried as he watched her disappearing out of sight. Where would she go? What would she eat? Where would she sleep that night? He felt so sad his future plans completely changed that day. He'd stay in England helping kids who had no place to stay. So George, together with his wife, began a breakfast club. Soon 30 kids attended from the streets and local pub. They sat on apple boxes, not a single child stirred, when George began to read aloud from God's own holy word. They ate big bowls of oatmeal, which they gobbled happily, then shoveled spoons of sugar in their warm, delicious tea. Now many poor in Bristol weren't as fortunate as they, but lived within the poorhouse walls, an awful place to stay, where husbands, wives, and children all were forced to live their lives apart from one another, working hard there to survive. A baby boy named William had been born one morning there. His parents died when he was small, yet no one seemed to care. Wherever little William went, there scurried rats and mice. At night he hardly slept a wink. His bed had fleas and lice. That's so sad. Along with many others, William hoped to get away. He told a lie about an aunt inviting him to stay. So William went out on his own, now homeless on the street. He searched through bits of trash in hope of finding food to eat. He danced and sang some funny songs to earn a coin or two, and found more ways he could survive the older that he grew. Now meanwhile George, not satisfied with what he had provided, dreamed of a home for orphans, and with faith and hope decided one day in church that he'd announce what he was going to do. "I know that God will help make this orphanage come true. I will not ask for money, but will ask the Lord in prayer to meet the needs of every child who's placed within my care." Some members thought his plan would fail. Their minds were filled with doubt. Were there not more important things for God to care about? Well, that's a question we'll leave you with, and we'll finish the book up next time. Thank you for joining us for our song and story. We hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Maybe we'll get some snow here. We're hoping for it. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Come back again. You. Goodbye. Goodbye. Andrew, can you say bye? Say bye. He's over there cooking up a storm. Look at him walking away. There's my boy. Goodbye.